In South Redondo Beach, single-family homes just sold in a median of 8 days for 104% of their asking price, while the median price for North Redondo townhomes jumped nearly 6% in a single month. If you're thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months, this is the one that you're deciding on. Today's bidding wars versus tomorrow's potential flood of new inventory. If you're an owner, it changes how aggressive you can be without killing your momentum. And all of it sits on top of a new court ruling that could either protect that scarcity or blow a hole right through it over the next decade. Get this wrong and you can either leave 6 figures on the table or sit through years of construction you didn't plan for. Imagine you're walking down the Esplanade in South Redondo. A for sale sign goes up on a Tuesday. By the time you're back there on the weekly coffee run, the sell pending rider is already bolted on. That's not a one-off. That's how the market behaves right now. That's why I call this the sprints market, the ceiling market, and the builder's remedy wildcard. And it's all happening on a foundation of extreme scarcity. Across Redondo Beach, months of supply ranges from just 1.68 in North Redondo single-family homes to 3.75 in South Redondo condos. Still firmly a seller's market though. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which lane your property is in. The sprints market, the ceiling market, or the value engine, and how to play each one now, and then I'll show you how the court ruling could reshape all three. If you're thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months and want to see what your home is worth, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description. I'm Mr. Hernandez, your real estate advisor here in the South Bay. My job isn't just to hand you numbers, it's to turn this fractured Redondo Beach market into a clear flight plan for your next move. Because to understand Redondo Beach, you have to abandon the idea of a single monolithic market. Citywide reports are a dangerous oversimplification. We're going to give you the precision you need to make a smart decision. Here's the roadmap. First, where speed and bidding power actually live so you don't misprice and leave money on the table. Second, where affordability is quietly capping prices so you know exactly how far buyers can stretch. Third, the value engine segments where well-positioned listings are quietly compounding seller gains. And finally, how rates and Sacramento collide with your plan. Let's start with that South Redondo single-family sprints market, 8-day median time on market, and homes closing at 104% of list. If you're an owner in South Redondo and you're 6 to 12 months out, this is your play. Use the 8-day days on market and the 104% of list to sell into peak scarcity before any new policy-driven inventory even has time to break ground. Now let's dig deeper into the sprints market. The median sales price in October was $2,040,000. On a summary chart, that looks like a 10% drop and the sky is falling headline. In reality, it's 8 sales. A couple of smaller homes closed and pulled the median down. That's noise, not a crash. The true signal of this segment's health is the 104% sell to list price ratio, which demonstrates that buyer demand is there and in fact accelerating. The most accurate measure of value here is the price per square foot. In that sprints market, buyers are paying a premium of $1,207 per square foot. This isn't just a number, it's a 31% premium over a single family home in North Redondo. That's the tangible price of the avenue's lifestyle, and it's the premium you're positioned to capture right now. Now let's travel north of the 190th into what I call the ceiling market, North Redondo single family homes. This is the most misunderstood segment in the city. Here we find the absolute lowest supply of homes in all of Redondo Beach with a razor thin 1.67 months of supply. Standard economics would tell you this extreme scarcity should create the fiercest bidding wars. But the exact opposite is true. The median days on market here is 17 days, more than double its southern neighbor. And homes here sell on average for just under their asking price at 99.4% of list. This contradiction points to a powerful constraint I call the affordability ceiling. The market for a $1.5 million single family home in North Redondo is capped by what the local buyer can actually afford. If you're an owner of a single family home in North Redondo and you're planning to sell within the year, your move is precision pricing and prep. You're not riding a bidding war wave, you're trying to stand out to affordability stretch buyers. That means coming on correct the first weekend. Dialed condition, sharp price, no fantasy number. Now let's pivot to the condo and townhome market. In South Redondo, it's a calmer version of the sprints market. The median price is just under $1.4 million and properties are taking about 13 days to sell. The months of supply is 3.75, the highest in the city. But let's be clear, that's still a strong seller's market. The real surprise is what I'm calling the value engine, the condo and townhome market in North Redondo. The median price saw a robust month of month-over-month gain of nearly 6%. But here's the most important number. In October, 14 new condo and townhomes listings came on the market. In that same month, 16 sales closed. This was the only segment where demand actually outpaced the flow of new inventory. If you own a North Redondo townhome and want to sell in the next 6 to 12 months, you're in the one segment where demand is literally outpacing new listings. Your risk isn't a lack of buyers, it's leaving money on the table by skimping on presentation. Treat your home like a launch, staging, pro photos, and a tight list window to capture that pent-up demand. So quick scoreboard before we zoom out. The Spritz market in South Redondo, 8 days, 104% of list, $1,207 a foot. The Ceiling market in North Redondo, 17 days, just under ask, buyers hitting on the affordability wall. The Value Engine in North Redondo townhomes, demand literally outpacing new listings at the lowest cost per square foot in the city. South Redondo sellers, your edge is auction style demand. North Redondo sellers, your edge is being the best presented option in a price capped pool. If you want that scorecard translated into sell now versus hold for your address, reach out to me directly and I can provide you with a home equity snapshot. So that's the neighborhood math. Now let's talk about the part you can't see on a CMA. What rates, affordability, and Sacramento are about to do to your buyer pool. First, financing costs are stabilizing. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage is hovering around 6.22%. Second, the Federal Reserve has signaled it's done with its aggressive rate hiking cycle. The threat of 7 or 8% mortgage rates is effectively off the table. But we don't need a national report to tell us about affordability here. The California Association of Realtors just published a stark statistic. Only 1 in 6 California households can afford the median price home. So if you're listing within the year, you're not chasing volume, you're fighting for the attention of a very small, very qualified pool. That tells you two things. First, the buyer pool is thinner than it looks on paper. And second, if rates ease even just a little bit, you could see a short-term bump in demand for your price points, especially in the more affordable North Redondo segment. Your timing window is basically sell into current scarcity or hold and ride the next rate cycle. Before we talk courts and density, quick question for my homeowners. Are you planning to hold 10 plus years or are you more 1 to 5 years out? Drop hold or move in the comments. That horizon is everything when we talk about what 2,700 new units can mean for you. But all of this data is built on one foundational assumption: scarcity. Think of the market as a tank that's always half empty. The builder's remedy is the legal tool that could turn that tank into a fire hose. On the AES side alone, 2,700 units is basically dropping many years worth of new inventory into one corner of the city. That doesn't just tweak prices, it rewrites the story of scarcity in that pocket. If you're selling inside a 6 to 12 month selling window, this ruling doesn't mean a construction crane shows up tomorrow, but it does mean you're selling into one of the last clearly defined scarcity chapters before the rules and potentially skyline changes. Here's the simple 3-beat story of what just happened. Beat 1. Redondo's housing plan failed the test. On October 10th, a state court ruled that the city's plan to meet new housing quotas was unrealistic. Beat 2. The builder's remedy now allows developers to sidestep the old rules. This is a powerful state law that gets activated when a city doesn't have a valid housing plan, allowing a developer to bypass most local zoning and density limits. Beat 3. The AES plans is the real physical place where this hits your life. The 51-acre defunct power plant site is ground zero. Right now it's smokestacks and empty structures. In a few years it could be thousands of balconies, headlights, and cafe lights. The owner has plans to build 2,700 apartments there. This court ruling massively strengthens his case. This creates the central conflict for every single person invested in Redondo Beach real estate. That's the tension in the scarcity versus flood market. Right now, you're living in a market that behaves like it will last forever in a city that just got told by the state it's not allowed to stay that way. If you're inside that 6 to 12 month window, your decision is whether to cash out into the scarcity chapter or intentionally hold through whatever the next version of Redondo becomes. If you do nothing, that's still a decision. You're choosing to ride whatever version of Redondo the state forces into existence. Bottom line, Redondo today is priced like scarcity will last forever. In a city the state has just told to add thousands of homes. So the real question is, how do you play your cards in this market? If you're 6 to 12 months out from a possible sale and you don't want to guess on timing, pricing, or how Builder's Remedy might hit your neighborhood, click the link on the description to book a one-on-one strategy session. Let's book your flight plan together.